Want to take Intellectually Confused, then we
Oh
crack
yeah,
on?
let's just take intellectual. Yeah, sorry.
Please take my suggestion, especially you, Harris. This being a Monday, but let's see if you can work something a day
That's
before.
that's what I
Otherwise,
thought. That's great.
I did speak to Nuria on the private chat line, and Nuria, I'll just pick that topic slightly. Maybe we take it forward next week onwards.
Sure.
Uh, Harris, as because I've been looking at your streams for quite a long time, one of the old 1 year old video popped up where you first, I believe, so the first time interviewed Nuria, where I saw the whole history, what Nuria had to go through. And then it dawned on to me that one of the reasons for all the suffering she had to go through was the way the Nikah was made. So I was thinking, and then I wrote a long letter to Nuria on my few suggestions, and Nuria is going to think about it. And I just wanted to push this thought for your point of view, and then we can take it forward maybe next coming few weeks. Now, what I had listed in that whole article was, sorry, not article, in my email was all about that, how I believe that we can help the people, because in the Hindu religion, at least in India, women have got a lot of rights. The government has provided they know it, they can really use them to their power, and some of them really do. They take it to the other extreme, but now coming to the point but in the Muslim area, Muslim religion, the marriage is always a contract. So there is a blessing and disguise in it, because you can predefine a contract the way you want. Now, what I had suggested in this, I'm just pulling out my email, was that what we do is we create a predefined nikah with all the relevant text check boxes pre-clicked on it, and we present it for the people to download it. Like it has things like what should be the meher amount, and it should be like it should continuously go up as the number of years it's gone. If there are any child, how much amount children, based on that each individual child, the amount of monthly allowance, and even the allowance for a wife. Caveats like if the people are going through a separation, no matter who initiates it, the person needs to give some kind of a residence, like a house or an apartment, to the girl and the kids, because most of the time the kids are with the girl and not with the men. A lot of times they would prefer to do that. So those kind of things, and it should also start a bit of a discussion with the parents, which is very sad that they will go heaven and earth to find the right boy for their girl, but they would not invest 2 hours of their time looking at the nikah, which is the most important document for that girl post marriage. So why don't we help them create a document which kind of protects the rights of the woman beforehand? Because what I've heard from a lot of places is that the Maulvis just strike off a lot of things which are even in the Pakistani constitution, which are being kept in the favor of the woman. But the Maulvis, because it's written, because the Maulvis sign everything, and neither the boy, neither the girl looks at it. They're just there to sign it. And because it's such a happy day for them, this is one of the last things they're going to look at. But from a parent, I would believe this is the most important thing a parent for a girl should look at and ensure. This is getting neglected, and I would like this to be put in the forefront. We provide these templates, downloadable templates, and as the time progresses, we rope in with NGOs to get them vetted and put it in the mosques, so that tomorrow, if a person comes with a downloaded template, they agree to it, the Maulvis agree to it, and don't create a scene there. And they also have, like, if it is in Arabic or Urdu, they also have translations in English or similar ones which the other party can see. Because you said a lot of the stuff you were going through, Nuria, was in Arabic, and you had no clue what it was written there. So you should have a comparative translation. Like if it is being downloaded in Pakistan, it should have English translation by default into it. And so that's what my suggestion is. And maybe it, and the final thing is that Nuria, your channel is just one, but you have a network of channels with you. One of the biggest networks of channels you have is Harris's channel, Maleed's channel. You have got Ghalib Kamal's channel. these three people have got a very large field to capture. And obviously, as you proceed, if you think of going ahead with this particular direction, there will be more similar minded people joining in who can just promote this. And then this can be a place. And Harris already has a website which can be used immediately for these kind of things. And a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, come there and use this site, and you can just put it on your profile pages that use this. So that was my suggestion. That's all what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, thank you. Well, obviously, when Horace is back, we'll definitely get his thoughts on it. But I did indeed read your email today, and I was very, as I said, I'm sorry, I was very busy today, but your email did strike me for a number of reasons. I was like, first of all, this definitely is something that needs attention, and beyond just like my activism and speaking out against Islam, I guess coming from the experience that I've had, like this is probably one of the most like focal points of where my activism should be. As I said, the only thing I want to look into more is kind of utilizing my network now, because I'm going into law, and I want to see how far, if we take this initial concept, as you said, with all of the clauses, like we can break it down and do everything and make sure women are safeguarded, make sure this is a template that is easily translated across the board into all the major languages spoken in well, I'd say Western and Muslim majority countries. But yeah, and then, for example, I could make a separate video exactly detailing like what a niqab means, what it entails, and what women in general should look out for. So my only issue, and the only reason I was meditating on your email, was thinking about how far I could push this in terms of within the secular organizations and NGOs that are on my radar, and to actually kind of get like a real momentous push behind this. But I think, honestly, personally speaking, just talking to you now as well about it in person, I think if we were to start, or even on a smaller scale, as you said, and even if that means going back to those initial videos, taking out those clips where I think even back in the day when Horace and I first discussed it, he pulled up the issue of the Muslims, the imams, deleting that clause of divorce. And I raise one massive contention with my own family that nobody told me. You guys all blindly assumed that Islam gave me equal rights, and nobody bothered to check in my thing.
That was the catalyst.
Yeah,
exactly. That deleting thing was Harris's deleting thing. And while I was looking at your video, were the two catalysts which was going in that even if the Constitution is giving you the right, they have been trumped over by the Maulvis, because they know that nobody is going to read it at that point of time. So why don't we force them to not make any changes and put it in a PDF format where they don't have the ability to strike off or anything? And once it comes through the girls' parents, they are far more informed, and they will be looking at this in a bit more cautious manner, that okay, is he or he changing anything or not? If 5 minutes of this help can save years of pain for any girl, I think we would have hit something big, is what I'm thinking. From a change, I'm looking at it from the Indian Hindu concept as well, but I know because you're the contract marriage, so it is much easier for us to enforce. Now I've started thinking it from the Hindu area as well, but I have to still research more. But since I had two experts in front of me, I just bounced this idea to get a faster. This Harris is back, by the way.
Yeah, awesome. I think you're definitely onto something there, and I think it's a fabulous idea. And I'm going to start thinking about how I can do my bit to put it into practice, and then generally thinking about the wider network in general I can reach out to if this is actually going to become, something very much accessible and mainstream. I think most families in general, I know that that's a huge point, that my family feels like shit. Why were we not better informed? And I think most families would honestly, genuinely want that for their daughters. And most of them turn a blind eye and think that the courts, wherever they are, will handle the matter accordingly, and the nikah won't stand for anything. The nikah meaning the contract, dual marriage, Islamically. But in Islamic majority countries, it really does. And it takes precedence over any kind of other protection you could get, especially if you come from an all-rounding believing family. So there's definitely things and steps we can take. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Horace?
The first, I just want to add one more thing. We need to take the taboo away that at the time of marriage, you're already thinking of separation. No, we are thinking from a what if worst case scenario, and you as a father, brother, should be thinking of all possible scenarios and not just that it's a fairy tale wedding. So that is something, a thought which we need to start making people think of, because unfortunately, when it comes to marriage, and I blame it both to the boy and the girl as well, this is one of the last thing on their mind, because they are
And
so
the problem
happy.
with our society that, you know, in every condition you should make this work. Why are you even considering a divorce? You wouldn't need to get divorced. You would deal with whatever comes your
Yes,
way.
that
That's
is
the
correct.
underlying mentality. I agree 100% with the other thing you said as well, though. Horace?
All right, I think Nuria covered it all. I think that's obviously a good suggestion, and all these things work in unison with everything. And I think I still reckon, instead of getting and again, horses for courses kind of thing, where people they would, as diverse this movement gets, and we're going to get different types of opinions, and people would feel about certain topics more passionately, and they would push on that narrative a lot more than others. Me personally, I would think that if a Muslim woman comes out of Islam herself, none of these issues would exist anyway. But at the same time, yes, there would be feminists within the Muslim community who would push on this narrative a lot more, and they would talk about all the pros and cons and all the issues that come with marriages, whether that's muta or mishyar or even the traditional marriage. It would work itself out. I still reckon I'd go for the jugular instead and just kill the Islam, and all these secondary and tertiary problems will go away by themselves. But anyway, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, and that's the reason why, Harris, I didn't mail it to you. I mailed it to Nuria because I know.
Yeah,
don't worry. You hit a nerve with me. I'm with you.
So Nuria, as I said, Nuria would feel more about it, and then Nuria.
I mean, for me, it's still a case of saving, like helping my own cousins and sisters, and like I'm out of Islam. It doesn't mean the people closest to me are, but if their people are so hell bent on getting a nikah, you have to make sure that those things are in there for their own protection. So
for me, consider nikah as a safeguarding way to live in the society. Not everybody, unfortunately, Harris, can be an atheist, even in India, even though India is far more liberal. Atheism still has a stigma associated, and not everybody wants to fight that battle. No.
Remove the stigma. Sorry. And I know. This is why I'm going for that. Time. Well, yeah, that's fine. And this is why I say the world we live in 50 years' time would be vastly different from the world today.
I agree.
So in the meantime, unfortunately, there would be people who would have their own challenges and own stigmas involved, and they can't do this, they can't do that. But then the next generation, they might do that. So let's just. I'm a big believer of a free society that let the society work its. Let the society evolve, and activists are always going to be at the forefront of it, and the different activists will bring different flavor, and that they would go about certain topics. So anyway, thank you for coming. Thanks.
I'll just end with one last statement,
which is saying that.
Which is on a sad note, is when I see people from Cambridge University talk about making their country, rather than progressing, a Medina, I don't have much hope right now in the current situation.
Well, Imran Khan is a dinosaur. He'll be gone. He'll be gone probably next week.
I'll end with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.